Hi folks, it's Colin Fraser and welcome back to Tutorials. In this tutorial we're going to take a look at the home page, the index page of your website, and particularly one section of it, and we're calling it the mobile section, but basically it's the section where it has the phone image, it has the list on the left and the list on the right and the heading up top here. So sort of how this breaks down into some of the unique features of this particular section is the top piece right up here, that uses what we call the section background style 2. So if we go and open that page up, the index page up in Dreamweaver, I'm going to, we'll flip it into the design view for a second here. We will do the view and get rid of the visual aids. Okay, and put it in full design view so we can sort of scroll down and find these bits and pieces here. Okay, when you look at it in the page, you don't see the blue background and all the nice graphics. You see the text in the page, and it's, you can sort of read it, but you can scrub over it. This may be one of those things where you find the text, sort of highlight it, and then flip over to code. It might just be a little bit easier to edit that way. Because as you see here, there's our text right there, and it has a bunch of classes applied to it in order to make it fade in and up to have its effect. Because if we were to refresh the page, as we scroll in, you see how the text all sort of slides into place. Yeah, so we do that with some classes, okay, that don't show up overly well in the design view of Dreamweaver. So you may want to flip back and forth. But the other thing you can do is take your page, and you see the style rendering. So we go to design view options and style rendering and display styles. Yeah, you don't need those displayed. What you can do is turn those off, and then you can just scroll down. It takes a little bit more scrolling, but you can see here when you get to the see in action optimized for mobile 2, you just have to know what text you're looking for. And a good indicator is we have the team counter with the numbers right here. So look for that placeholder graphic in the design view here, and then the text right below it you can just go and edit quite easily without having to fiddle through with the design view. So with this particular section, what we had in mind is a nice top, the blue top here. That is the section background style 2, and below that we have another section that has a background image. So let's take a look at these two things here. If you wanted to remove that background style, we'll just put this into the code view for a second, because what we're looking for is called section mobile. And it starts off, we add a class called section background style 2. If we remove that class like so, we're just going to save it like that, and go back to our, there we go here. Right, we can refresh it and it gets rid of that entire look, as you can see here, but it also changes the color of the text and things like that. So we create these things to all sort of synergistically go together. All right, if you're going to remove that background class, what we'll also need to do is wherever there is any text with the color of light, like so, you'll need to remove that. Okay, so just in case you're wondering how come I can't see my text. Right, now we're getting to some pretty advanced stuff here, which is kind of cool, but okay. But ideally, if you want to start removing all those styles and things like that, like the backgrounds and whatnot, then you're just getting down to a blank page, and you might as well just remove the whole section altogether and start fresh. Because what we want to do is create these unique looking sections to really highlight certain elements of your website. And let's just put this back to where it was. I'm just going to put it back there, save it, go back and refresh. Right. The easiest thing is, if you don't want all this fancy color and stuff like that, just get rid of the whole section, and then you can just, either use one of the other sections or just plain text or use one of the other layouts. But essentially, you could just go to the section here. See this section class? You can actually, you can just grab the whole thing. When you see this section class of style blue, that's that whole top piece. Right, you could actually just select the tag and delete the whole thing out of the page like so, hit save, and now if we go back here, all that blue will be gone and to be left with just the phone and the text and the section below it. Okay, so speaking of which, the section below with the background picture, I want to explain how this works here. I'm just going to, once again, reset it back to where we were. Okay, and what we're looking at is we have the top section with the blue and the white text, and then we have the section below with the background, sort of the keyboard image in the background, or whatever background image you have in your theme. And then we have the phone and the two columns here. So basically what we have is a section with a background image, and we have a 3-column setup here with an image in the middle of the middle column. Okay. Now the background image is actually coming from a class which we call Parallax Image Mobile. Okay. And let's go and find out where that is coming from. We're just going to inspect element here and take a look to see where that particular background, this section, Parallax Image Mobile, styles base, that's our style sheet, line 1687. And this is the background image that it's pulling in right here. So our themed image is backgrounds, mobile section background. That's just where the image is coming in from. I just want to point that out to you in case you want to change it. So in a nutshell, if we go into our site and our themed images folder, and we're looking for a mobile section background, that's the picture right there. And you can change it out with another picture using the same name and same size. And the size is typically going to be a 1920 by 1080. That's the typical size we use for all parallax or background images, right? So that way it covers the entire page. Or you can go into your styles base.css and you can scroll down to that, look for that particular class. Now we determined through the inspect element it was like 16, something like that. Okay, so here's our parallax backgrounds comment tag. So somewhere in here we're going to find that Parallax Image Mobile. There's the class right there, 1687, and there's the background image it's pulling in. You can hover over and see, right? Oh, sorry, it's 1920 by 1275. That's the size we're using there. And you can replace this. You can insert your own background image in here if you want to. All right. The last piece of the puzzle on this particular section is this phone image right here. So we'll just inspect element with this, and this is called the mobile phone screenshot, and it's an image located in the site themed images folder in the pages index, right? Because this image is only used on the index page or the home page, we've put it into its own. We've got our themed images, and then we have the pages folder, and then we have the index page right here. And it is the mobile section background, I believe. Is that what we're calling it? Mobile phone screenshot. Sorry, my bad. Mobile phone screenshot. That's it right there. That's the image right there. And then you can open that up with your graphic editor and paste in your new screenshot, or contact me if you need any help with that, because there's different ways of doing it. You can replace it with your own image or whatever you want to do. We just put that in there as sort of a placeholder image, fully intending that you would replace it with something else. Obviously, because it has a screenshot of your website in there, and you probably wouldn't want to show that to your customers. But you can put whatever image you want in there in place.